Okay, so a billionaire is suing his own government for $10 billion. And the lawyers who get to decide if he wins, his personal attorneys. I'm not making this up. I wish I was making this up. So here's what happened. On January 29th, Donald Trump, his two oldest sons, and the Trump Organization filed a lawsuit against the IRS and the Treasury Department for $10 billion. $10 billion. The reason? Back in 2020, an IRS contractor named Charles Littlejohn leaked Trump's tax returns to the New York Times. And yes, that was illegal. Littlejohn pleaded guilty. He's currently sitting in a federal prison, serving a 5-year sentence. Justice was served, right? Case closed. Not for Trump, because those leaked tax returns showed something Trump really didn't want to see. In some years, the man paid $750 in federal and income taxes. $750. You paid more than that. Your kid's teacher paid more than that. The guy working at the register at 7-Eleven paid more than that. But the billionaire president, $750. And now he wants $10 billion because people found out about it. So let's do the math for a second, because I think it's important to really feel this one. So there are 150 million taxpayers in this country. 10 billion divided by 150 million is $77. So congratulations, you're being asked to personally compensate a billionaire because the public found out he wasn't paying his fair share. That's the ask. That is literally the ask. And here's where it goes from greedy to genuinely corrupt. Trump is the president. He runs the executive branch. The IRS and Treasury Department report to him. He is suing agencies that he controls. His own Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent confirmed in a Senate hearing that if Trump wins, the money comes straight from the Treasury's General Account. That's your tax dollars. Bessent could barely get the words out, but he said it. It comes from Treasury. Now, who decides who to respond to this lawsuit? Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, who was Trump's personal lawyer. Todd Blanche, the Deputy Attorney General, who was Trump's criminal defense attorney. Stanley Woodward, the Associate Attorney General, who defended Trump's co-defendant in the classified documents case. These are the people who are supposed to defend you, the taxpayer, against the president's claim. His former defense team is now your defense team. How do you think that's going to go? And by the way, it isn't the first time. Back in October, he demanded $230 million from the Department of Justice for being investigated. Just for being investigated. So now we're at a point where he wants $10 billion. This man wants from the federal government. A government he said was spending too much, a government whose budget he's supposedly trying to cut. He's firing federal workers, gutting agencies, and telling Americans to tighten their belts while he's got his hand out for $10 billion. Even a Republican senator saw through this. Tom Tillis of North Carolina stood on the Senate floor and said, "Where's that money going to come from? The money fairies or your pocket?" End quote. A Republican said that. When Republicans are calling you out for being greedy, you've gone too far by even their standards. And look, I know some of you thinking, he said he'd give it to charity. He always says that. He said the same thing about $230 million. He's been saying that his whole life, and his charities keep getting shut down for fraud. The Trump Foundation was literally dissolved by a court order for misusing funds. So no, I'm not taking the charity promise at face value, neither should you. Meanwhile, his crypto ventures have pulled in over $2 billion since he took office. $2 billion for meme coins and stable coins and deals with foreign governments. The UAE invested $2 billion through his family's crypto company in a deal that just happened to coincide favorably with policy decisions. It's funny how that works. But $10 billion from crypto scams and foreign money apparently coming in isn't fast enough. So he thought, why not just bill the American taxpayer directly? This is a man worth between $5 and $7 billion, depending on who you ask. But he wants $10 billion more because you found out he paid less in taxes than your Uber driver. That's not a lawsuit, that's a shakedown. And the people who are supposed to stop it are the same people who used to cash his checks. So what are we going to do about this? Call your senators, tell them to support the legislation blocking sitting presidents from collecting taxpayer-funded settlements. Wyden and Schumer already introduced a bill. Tell your representative that this matters, because if we let a president sue his own government and have his own lawyers approve the payout, we're not a democracy anymore. We're a piggy bank. I'm not okay with this, and if you're not okay with it either, don't just sit there, subscribe, do something, because this guy is counting on us being too tired, too overwhelmed, or too distracted to notice that he just stuck his hand in all of our wallets.